Supposedly, where is it? Oh, I got it. I got it. Sorry. And by the way, I get these information from you guys messaging me. I keep telling you, I read all my Instagram messages. You guys should, if you have important information, like please message me. Like, give me a second. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. So supposedly this was the apartment, and I kind of did some background research, and apparently it was. Apparently this was okay, and apparently, yes, here it is, chat. Apparently this was where she was staying at. Don't ask me how niggas pulled this up. If y'all remember this kitchen, we'll showcase the kitchen that's in her Instagram stories. But it looks pretty accurate. By the way, the rent gone up. Remember, Diddy was paying $10,000. They have now listed this again for rent, but it is now for rent for $12,000. Okay, let me go down a little bit. Yeah, it's now listed as of 9/21. So Jane Doe is kicked out. 50. You got to move her back in. I'm sorry. 50. You my mans, but you got to move her back in. It was listed for rent at 8/22, which means probably Diddy sometime during, or after the trial gave notice like, I'm not keep paying this rent. She probably couldn't pay it. By the way, the listing was removed. Remember, it was listed for 10 grand. It matches up with the time, chat. 2023, she gets there. That's the love contract. It was, the listing was removed a month later. And by the way, let's go to, what's her name? Daphne Joy, right? Daphne Joy. You've seen her in a different place now, right? Is it the same place? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's before she moved out. But if we scroll down, I don't know if we'll find that kitchen. But I remember her being in that kitchen. Let's see if we can find it, chat. Let's see if we can find it. Y'all remember the kitchen, all right? I know y'all remember that kitchen. Because it was one of the posts we looked at. Yeah, she might have removed all the pictures from it. But I remember her in that kitchen. That's a fact. I know y'all remember it too, because we showed it on stream. So maybe she... Okay. That's from that house. So Diddy got her up the fuck on out of there. You know what I mean? Oh, here it is. Here's the kitchen, chat. Look, it looks the same to me, right? Look. Bang. By the way, I don't even want to shout out your name. I do want to shout out your name to give you credit, but I don't want to dox you. But this is why I told you, man, ain't nothing bigger than the chat. We got the best supporters in the world. Look at the kitchen right here. This shit up on Zillow. Got her the fuck on out of there. Got her out of there, chat. It's listed for 12 bands now. Got her out of there, chat. Got her out of there. It's over. It's over. No more fine dining. Back to ramen noodles. It's over. It's over. I told you. Mr. Take That wasn't going to take this type of flippery. So, yeah, she out of there. This was the kitchen. You see it on her story. You see, look, this is when she just moved in, a couple months after, December 1st. She's showing off the place.
Cooking for you.
Acting like she got a cooking channel. Bitch, you know the vibes. Oh, man, you ain't cooking nothing. All you was doing ingesting sausages. Stop playing. Act like she a chef. Come on, stop playing.
Okay, so this one.
Talking about she taste testing this shit. 50, you got to take her back. 50, we love you, but you got to take her back. You got to take her back, Fifth. Fifth, you got to take her back, Fifth. Fifth, you got to take her back, Crody. We love you, but you got to take her back. Diddy done kicked her out the spot. She's out of there. She's out of there, chat. She's out. Diddy got her the fuck out of there. Yeah, all them pictures. Yeah, let's look through the house a little bit more. Yeah. And it's accurate. The $10,000 a month of rent, it was listed for $10,000 back then. I don't know how this person found this shit. This is crazy. Damn, this shit empty as a motherfucker now. Nah, Diddy, you did your big one on this. This shit empty as hell. Nah, Diddy, yo, this shit look like that episode of Fresh Prince when Will Smith pops up and there ain't nobody there. It's just empty. No furniture, no nothing. Oh, hell nah. I can't even lie. He did his big one on this one. I can't even cap with you, Chad. Now, Diddy had her living good, though. Diddy had her living good. Fifth, ball back in your court, Crody. Or you're gonna be in child support court with her for forever. Yeah, she was living good. But Diddy got her the fuck on out of there, man. Think Diddy got you all that dick from all them prostitutes. You was loving it. And then you testified against him, crying and shit like that? Nah, hell nah. I got to get you out of there. It's over. Hold on, I'm trying to find some identifying marks and shit like that. Yeah, is this a towel right here? Look at this towel and then look at this. Nah, we got her, Chad. Yeah, it's the same towel. We got her, Chad. Chad, we got her. We got her. Diddy got her the fuck on out of there, man. Actually, I'll say her first name. Ashley, thank you for this. You know my beautiful chat queens for this. And also, oh, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, yeah, he really got her out of there. God damn. There's another. Yeah. Oh, here's another picture of the spot. Yeah, that's it. If we look at the aerial view, we'll see. Yeah, it probably was this door she was in front of. I don't know. Some door. Treacherous, man. Got her out of there. Expeditiously. Boy, Diddy's a cold work, man. I know he was screaming at Justin on the phone. Justin, get her the fuck out of my crib! Bitch testifying on me and shit! Trying to send me to jail for life. Get this bitch on out of there. Break the lease. Fuck it. Break the locks. Get this bitch on out of there. Send her back to Fifth. Send her back to Curtis. Yeah, I know he was tight. He was definitely motherfucking tight. Oh, this is just one of them little things where you just post mad pictures, huh? Okay. But this is definitely the crib. Yeah, thank you to my chat queen, Ashley. That's her name. Ashley, I might have a job for you. Because this type of stalking is like top tier. Can't have got. Type of stalking is fucking top tier. Okay. All right. She out of there, chat. But Gina's still on the team. Gina not going nowhere. Daphne's out. She got to go link back with Puff or go join the Kanye West sex cult. She got to go do that. But Gina's still on the team, and she was trying to get her man free, right? She said they were trying to make her a victim. She said she's not no victim. And she said, yo, listen, I want to emphasize that I understand the seriousness of the case and the pain others may feel. She acting like she don't got no pain. I can't speak for no one but myself. In terms of sentencing, I kindly ask you to consider releasing him back to his family. Yo, I love a delusional side chicks. You know what's crazy? Gina think she his family too. And she ain't never had no kill him, none. Thank God for side chicks like this, bro. Thank God for side. I keep telling y'all, man, most happy relationships is two people fake faithful and a good side chick in the cut that's making all them problems that your main girl give you go away. Because when you with her, nothing fucking matters. Gina's the GOAT. I ain't gonna hold you. She's a GOAT. She says, I understand throughout the process he's been cooperative and respectful, including turning himself in. Throughout the process, he's never once reached out to me or made me feel uncomfortable in any way. I believe he'll be continue to be complying with the court's conditions upon release. I understand that accountability is important, and I'm not writing this to dismiss the gravity of the charges nor criticize anyone. I want a right to express my perspective as a so-called victim. My right to express how I felt during the investigation and trial and how I feel now. Waiting to hear the sentence. I feel compelled to share my own perspective honestly. I respectfully ask you take my words into consideration when making your decision. Thank you for your time and allowing me to be heard. Damn. Look at her. She showed up to court, man.
Richard, right here.
How you feeling today? How you guys feeling today?
Shots, my nigga Mo. My nigga Mo is in there.
Feeling today?
Looking forward to justice.
My boy said, looking forward to justice. Holy.
Today.
Looking forward to justice. Richard, right here.
Nah. We got to shout out to Gina. We got to shout out to Gina. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So, Diddy was sentenced. By the way, there's a video that was played in court, and they sent me the video. So, y'all want to hear the video that Diddy played like a trailer in court, or his lawyers did. And he also did speak. So, Diddy actually did speak. But let me play you the video that they sent. Let me see. I'm going to play the video. Let me see. No. Okay, here we go. So I want to show y'all the video that was played in court. Give me 1 second. Don't ask me how I get these videos, man. We just bully the scene, man. I stole that shit, nigga. Facts. I gotta add that to the soundboard. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. Bingo.
What you've given to the world, I don't think you know, man.
When my baby cries.
You gotta give her a bottle then.
Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
My nose fell off. No.
Keep in mind, this is an 11-minute video. The entire thing was played in front of the judge.
My lip fell off. Thank you. You wear it?
You inspire, you energize, and you've left that for the rest of the existence of this planet, man.
Wow, we never seen this.
One thing about great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere.
I'm from New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something good. I wanted to get my generation in the hip-hop community behind us. They come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And, you know, this is just a start. It's something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking it to the streets. It's a beautiful city running all around. The city's going to be painful. It's going to be rough.
Whatever happened to this nigga? His name didn't come up one time. Let me try out this drop.
Embarrassing.
Oh, no, that's a different drop.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
Okay, I got the drop. Good.
But you know, if we get through it, then it'll show kids and everybody else that, you know, finish what you started and you can do anything you put your mind to. Any of y'all go to public school?
Yes.
Okay, y'all running to raise money for your schools. So y'all get more books and computers and stuff like that. I just feel like it's important that us, you know, young adults of power, that we look out for y'all. And we utilize our power to make sure y'all all right in the future. Put everything you can into your work, you know. Don't think the cool thing is not to do your work. Don't think the cool thing is to hang on the corner with your friends and to talk about stuff that ain't gonna protect your future.
What did you learn about him as a man who was taking up a new sport?
Well, you know, I was actually very impressed. You know, a lot of people think it's just a celebrity stunt, that he isn't serious about his running. He is as serious about his running, has been the last 9 weeks, as a lot of these guys in the lead pack. I mean, he's really devoted and dedicated himself to running. You know, he's had some knee problems, and a lot of people don't think he's going to finish. He is going to finish, even if he has to do it on one leg, because he's raised a lot of money for kids' charities, and he's not going to let all those people down.
Okay, his team cooked up a video.
Let's go. Where we going? We going straight to the top, baby. Let's go is a constant reminder. Let's go. Boom. Live in the present. Sometimes, you know, you daydreaming. Sometimes, you know, Uncle Diddy got to hit you with let's go. Clap it up on the sideline. Let's get our energy right. Come on. To make sure that you pursuing your dream, that you staying focused. Let's go. Let's keep going forward. Let's go means let's be positive. Let's take it up another notch. Let's go spend time with our kids. Let's go. Let's give thanks to God. Let's go. You know, let's turn it up. Let's get in the vocal booth. Let's stop procrastinating. Let's go. You know, let's understand what it's going to take to achieve that dream. So instead of talking about the guns or the violence, I was always talking about a better life. Places we didn't go before. Things we never wore. Cars we never drove. Houses we never lived.
By the way, you could tell he was trying his best to try to appeal to this judge and like tug at his heartstrings and like his, you know, like, yo, I'm a human too. Yeah, I paid for some bitches to get fucked or some niggas to do the fucking, but am I that bad of a person? I've been locked up already a year. Like, come on. Like,
Then I think I brought an aspiration to hip-hop. Tried to take it out of just being street. Our whole stuff was a fantasy and a dream that I always felt would come true. I started out just like you guys. I come from New York. I grew up in Harlem. I used to have to wear a uniform every day. Had to get up early in the morning, had to travel to go to school. I worked hard, just like you guys are working. This country and this world we live in may have planned for y'all. I didn't listen to that, and I don't want y'all to listen to it either. Y'all are great. Y'all are kings. Y'all are queens. Y'all are leaders. I just got so excited because this is truly a dream come true for me. And I'm happy to say this is our third school we have opened. It's official. When we come together as a people, nothing can stop us. What I want to do with my freedom is, you know, make sure that I can make change.
And I found out that Mr. Sean Diddy Combs posted me on Instagram.
We met Sean Diddy Combs for the first time, and Sean gave Trey a $25,000 grant, which allowed us to open a physical store.
Revolt, as one of the only Black-owned networks, we have to own something. We have to have something that's ours. We have to have something that we can control our narrative, and we could speak about things that are important to us, and we can have a platform and a foundation to be free. But I want to get advice from y'all. I want to not just have a one-way conversation.
you know what I noticed? We're halfway through this video. There's not one fucking rapper in this bitch. I wonder how Diddy going. Yo, you know when Diddy get free, all these niggas gonna be on his dick, right? You know, mad rappers gonna be like, yo, I knew you ain't do that shit. Yo, I knew these hoes was lying. We know that this is going to happen, right? But not one of them showed up to court except Ye. Not one of them was like, yo, I know this guy. I've been on a 2-man with him. He not like that. He a little fruity, but he not what y'all saying. Not one of them spoke up. Y'all know when Diddy get free, all these rappers finna be on his dick, right? Y'all do know this, right? It's gonna be so disgusting. Cause not one of these niggas even be like, yo, listen, man, fuck all that other shit, man. Diddy innocent. You know they're gonna be on his dick, right?
Conversation. We need a platform where they can put artists that are different, really different, that wouldn't get a shot on other stations.
Working for Revolt TV and working for Diddy was absolutely life-changing. It was the best job I've ever had. I learned excellence through him.
Yo, is this a no jumper interview?
I don't see enough things truly changing. And I don't understand how we are the richest, most powerful country in the world, and it seems like we can't solve the problems within our own community.
African American communities are last. And the only people that are going to change that is us. We have to stand strong together, and we have to get to that change.
You will change the world.
I've been to hell,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna make it.
you gonna make it, that's right. And I got something for you. Remember I told you I had a present for you?
Yeah. Ooh, ain't that pretty?
This is a heart, because you my heart.
Oh,
All right?
okay.
You my heart.
Okay.
May God bless you and keep you happy and keep you thinking positive. Everything's not gonna be perfect at this time in life. And you're a good person that understands reality. So we're gonna accentuate the positives in life. Cause you're doing great, girl. You're doing great.
God knows.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing great. I want you to be happy about your life. You're doing great. We got a lot of living to do now. We got a lot of living to do. Don't have me come behind me. I'll be taking you everywhere. You be going everywhere.
You hang out together.
Okay, what's your name?
When you were a little boy.
Hi.
Jeannie Ned.
Okay, Jeannie.
Yeah, you just keep hanging in there.
Thank you very much. And I'm telling you right now, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm wrapping my head around and meeting you and also telling you you did a great job at the same time.
That means
so
a lot.
pleasure to meet
That
you.
means a lot.
I'd rather at the end of the day be the one standing there with you was the best person. You made us feel the best as a person.
How old are you?
2.
How old are you?
2.
2. You got a 2. That's 2. My name is Pookie the Bird. Pookie.
Happy birthday.
Wash your hands, 'cause we gonna be shucking it up. Yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you.
I'm actually surprised he put this in there. Wow, but I ain't gonna lie, chat. I'm watching. They sent me this video. They told me it was played in court. I didn't watch it before now, and I ain't gonna lie. 8 minutes in, it's kind of tugging at my heartstrings a little bit. I gotta keep it a bean. I'm human. I'm like, yeah, Diddy's not that bad. Like, he's done good things too. It makes you reflect on, oh, there's other sides of him. Because I think what this trial did, it made us feel like there's one side of him. Just this uncontrollable freak that had an insatiable appetite for sex or sexual experiences. And when you look at anybody like that, you're like, oh, you're like disgusting. You're like this, like demonic, like you're ill. Like you're this pervert who needs to just be like put away. But when you see all the other things, like, yo, this guy's legit doing great stuff for his community and giving back and trying to help other people, and people are saying, yo, this guy helped me, and you watch him in his family life, you're like, oh, yeah, he's still a freak. He's still like some of these things that we think, but like there's many different sides to him. I'm surprised he actually reflected or used the Kim Porter death thing.
Being my father just...
Nah, Diddy is a real nigga, though. Cause me, I got a strict principle. If you ain't come out of my ball sack, I can't fuck with you like that. Diddy be loving Quincy like that's his real child. Like he love this Quincy nigga. If you don't know, Quincy, I believe, is Albie Shore's son. But like Diddy don't even act like, nah, you the stepson type shit. Like he's like, that's my son. And I think Quincy loves him the same.
Thank you for inspiring. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving me.
I think Quincy calls him dad, right?
Church.
Heavy on the family. Shout out to Baby Love, too. Baby Love got them little Dirk eyes. I ain't gonna cap with you. I ain't gonna cap. Hey, I gotta say, man, it's heavy on the family, heavy on the giving back. And I ain't gonna lie. I think this is an impactful video. I don't know who cooked it up for him. I gotta be honest. It's kind of, it will be working on me. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure like a judge sees inmates or defendants do or employ 15 million different tricks. Like one nigga saying in court, be like, I'm sorry. Like, you remember this nigga right here? Be like, you remember this nigga right here?
Yeah, that's how I wrote a song.
Remember him?
Hello there, Your Honor. I wanna say I'm sorry for the things I've done, and I try and be stronger in this life I chose. But I want you to know that door I closed. In Your Honor, I'm sorry, 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 sorry. To my mother, I'm sorry, 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 sorry. To the victim, I'm sorry, 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 sorry. Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry, 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 sorry. Oh. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. So, hey, people have employed a lot of strategies, and sometimes the judge sees through it. Right, obviously, we'll get to like some of the hearing stuff. The judge was upset after finding out that Diddy allegedly had booked a speaking engagement that was supposed to be this week because there was some anticipation that he may have been getting time served, which means he would have been released that day. So, you know, it was by the way, the sentencing took all day.
I had to pick which trophy I want. I want the best person trophy. Because I know in order for me to get into heaven, I'm not going to get in there, well, come on in heaven, you had 20 hit records. That don't mean nothing. And that's what this world is for. They're going to say, oh, come on in heaven, you was a nice person.
I love you.
I love you so much.
I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hi, Daddy.
Wait, that's the baby that talked? No fucking way. Hold on. Is that the baby?
I love you so much.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh. Which baby is this? Oh, this is Baby Love now. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. How old is Baby Love? How old is Baby Love? Baby Love. How old is Diddy's Baby Love? Yeah, here we go. The fuck? Oh, it's 3 years old. Okay. How old is Christian Rock's son? Does she be talking? Does Christian Rock's son kid be talking here? Oh, so this one is a little baby. Oh, hey, I think they did a good job on this. They did a good job on this. I'm not gonna cap with you. I'd be moved, but of course, I don't sit through hundreds of sentencing situations where like you realize everybody has their tactics and you got to be able to say, yeah, that's cool that you could sing or you made a video, but nigga, you're a fucking pervert. You're going to jail for a long time. What's this?
Okay, here we are. Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. It's today, October 6th, 2025. Now, Friday, we covered... No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday.
No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is Friday. No. We got to go back to Friday. This is
Okay, here we are. Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press. We're midway through, one hopes, the
Okay, now we gotta go to the beginning of that.
Okay, here we are. Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Friday, October 3rd. It's D-Day. Sean Diddy Combs the sentencing will begin today. Hopefully it will finish today. Turns out that at least 4 of his lawyers want to speak. And the judge hasn't said no. Mia will speak from as a victim. The judge upheld that, Judge Subramanian. And at midnight last night, Brian Steele, who's put in a series of letters of support, Miles Guo among them, Palm Beach chaplain of the police there, and Sean Combs' letter himself. But he put in a video. He was supposed to give it to the prosecution at 5 p.m., and I'm sure he did. But at midnight, he put a Dropbox links into the docket. So we Dropboxed, and we put it up. And you can find it. It's well, you can say, I haven't rarely seen that, but it's not the only time I've seen it. I actually do remember a sentencing for another defendant delayed so they could produce a video to try to show the judge who they were. Here, I don't think there's any. I think Subramanian's heard quite a bit of testimony about the days at Revolt, Bad Boy, the family. He's seen so I don't really know what it brings to the table.
Okay, so
and I wonder whether all of this sort of hoopla is going to drive it into more than one day. That would be ridiculous, because this is the day. And on the one hand, the government wants 11 years. On the other hand, Combs wants time served.
Now, granted, 11 years I thought was preposterous. It was clear that the government was trying to get, like some consolation prize. Like they lost on the major charges that could send Diddy away for a long time. But they wanted to get like a consolation victory to be like, well, we got him on buying pussy, and we've given him an enormous amount of time. And I think they were going to try to peddle that as a victory to say, well, it's not that we're happy that he's going to get, let's say he got 11 years for buying pussy. But with everything that came out in trial, he's a bad guy. And a bad guy goes away for 11 years. You don't care what he goes away for. Like, for example, I can't remember who it is. You guys probably remember or spam it in the chat. There was like some mobster or gangster or whatever that they were trying to get on like murder charges and all these drug charges or whatever the case is. They could never do it. And the thing that sent him to jail was like taxes. And the government still took it as a win. They're like, yeah, we got him. You know what I mean? Because like, hey, they basically sold it to everyone like, this is a bad guy. We couldn't get him on certain things, but we all know he's a bad guy. So we don't care why he goes to jail. Let's just send him to jail. And that's what they were trying to do to Diddy, right? Which is, hey, we might have not got him for some of the stuff, but we've smeared his character enough. You know he's a piece of shit. So let's just get this piece of shit away for as long as amount of time. Somebody said Al Capone. Yes, right? Is it Al Capone? Let's see. Al Capone went to jail. Let's see. Al Capone went to jail. Yeah. Yeah. Al Capone went to jail and served time in the Cook County Jail, the U.S. Penitentiary in Atlanta, and the Federal Penitentiary on Alcatraz, and the Federal Correctional Institution in Terminal Island. His conviction for tax evasion, rather than his known criminal activity, led to his imprisonment. Wow. That's crazy, right? So, like, he went there for tax evasion, not necessarily for these other things. Okay.
So, where will he come down? We will be covering it in great detail and live. Now, what else can we say? Here's another. This is a lesser known, but we covered about a week, 10 days ago, the case of it was described as a Queen school teacher, but he was indicted in the SDNY, Christopher Ward. He was detained for a second time yesterday, but we learned and reported, it seems to me it's exclusively, that he was teaching in Manhattan as recently as July and August of this year at the Camp Leman School in Lower Manhattan on Broad Street. We published the email that they sent around. Parents are pretty upset that they weren't immediately told. It seems like from their point of view, they were told only when they read about the case on Inner City Press. So there's that. Of course, there's other cases here going on, but we don't only cover the courts. We're covering the world of finance and transparency. Even during the shutdown, The FDIC is rubber stamping branch applications.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you a little bit of the highlights before we kind of get to the eventual sentencing. We could read through some of the stuff, but again, we already know the final outcome, so I'm not gonna go line by line or tweet by tweet. I'll give you some highlights. They basically said, Diddy has worked on. They kind of admitted that Diddy did a lot of these things while he was under the influence. He's taken many steps to control his anger and also deal with the substance abuse problem. They basically say he has taken accountability. He eventually did speak. Obviously, the prosecutor was not trying to hear that. They wanted 11 years, so they're like, yo, this guy is still the guy who is rich and famous, who this is just a joke to him. He can't wait to go back home to start doing this thing again. And he thinks it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to get out of here today. And he thinks he's going to get out of here today. How do we know? He's booking speaking engagements already. The judge was not happy with that. The judge was really not happy with that at all. Right? That culminated into, this was around noon.
Okay, here we are. Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press. We're midway through, one hopes, the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs. Today, Friday, October 3rd, Southern District Court, New York Courthouse behind me.
Did Lauren
this was a walk that we used to take during the trial, but we'll do it today. We'll be resuming. What's happened this morning? Well, the judge dealt with the sentencing guidelines. He turned down a number of government enhancements, but still it arrived at a hefty guideline. But he also said it's just advisory. Government wants 11 years. Diddy wants time served. What happened after that? Well, Pussy Slavic laid it on. She said this is not a typical Mann Act case. And I think most explosively, she said Diddy has already set up speaking engagements in Miami for next week and called it hubris. She also said that Mia, the victim who testified at trial, the person who testified at trial as Mia, would not testify, due in large part to a letter that from the defense that she called bullying. And the judge seemed to agree. He said it was inappropriate, don't do it again. But it's unclear when it could happen again, given that this is the sentencing. In any event, unless there's a resentencing, of course. Then we had, in no particular order, there's going to be a reverend doctor, and maybe a reentry person testifying. But Nicole Westmoreland spoke about Diddy as an icon. She seemed to cry a couple of times, or sob. I just ran into somebody who said he didn't believe it. I don't know. She's a fine lawyer. She did some great cross-examining. I don't know if that was necessary. I don't know if maybe she couldn't help it. I don't know.
Now, another thing that interestingly happened during the sentencing hearing, a lot of Diddy's lawyers spoke. I believe Brian Steele spoke. Driscoll, who supposedly was like the youngest guy on the team that was smart and technical, he was applauded for knowing all the info. He was right to it, but he wasn't the person who appealed to maybe people's emotions or could really speak too well to a juror. But he was like a facts guy. Like, imagine like going to Geek Squad. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to him. He's like the partner of Alexandra Shapiro, who's known to be an appellate lawyer. Alexandra Shapiro also spoke, but also Driscoll spoke, and then also Nicole Westmoreland spoke. Now, if you don't know Nicole Westmoreland, she's an African American lady that I said was, maybe MVP is doing too much if I'm trying to like give her credit. But she's definitely 6th Woman of the Year, right? Like, she supposedly did such an amazing fucking job at eviscerating every single witness that she was assigned to with Diddy's case. And you know where she came from? She came from Fulton County, which is Atlanta. She was seen there. By the way, she's also a sexual assault survivor. And I can't, I think, her team was open to doing an interview with me, so maybe we get that done eventually. But I can't do anything but give her so much credit for being fucking amazing at her job. But specifically in this case, she showed up like no other among a all-star team of lawyers. And she spoke at his sentencing, and she cried. She shed tears. saying that the person she met, which is her client now, Diddy, changed her life, and he had such a big and dramatic impact on her. Now, I know some of y'all might be like, well, that money make you do anything. By the way, this is her over here. That money make you do anything. But, she's a African-American woman who is defending an African-American man, and she's saying, hey, listen, this guy has made a tremendous impact even on my life. Not only because he hired me, but just him as a person. And that's what Matthew Russell is talking about.
Of times, or sob. I just ran into somebody who said he didn't believe it. I don't know. She's a fine lawyer. She did some great cross-examining. I don't know if that was necessary. I don't know if maybe she couldn't help it. I don't know. The kid spoke, and there were some tears. It seemed genuine. Not for me to say. Driscoll spoke. Driscoll, Alexander Shapiro's partner, one of her partners, Driscoll, spoke about comparing it to various cases, including that of Dylan Jordan. We covered that case. He was a movie director charged with running a prostitution ring and also raping somebody. He got 60 months, but that was the maximum he could get given the plea agreement. So I don't know. We did something on the side. We did a little extra about Dylan Jordan. Driscoll said he's read all 900 Mann Act cases that are available in Pacer. Some people were like, whoa, hats off to Driscoll. Hats off to Driscoll. Coming up in the afternoon.
Once again, Driscoll, he's like the guy who he reads something once, he remembers it for a lifetime. He was there to remind the judge of other precedent cases where people were convicted of similar charges and what did they get. Now, one of the cases they brought up is a case where a guy was actually even accused of having some forced prostitution. And not only prostitution, but forced prostitution, because the victim in that case was a minor, and that person got 14 months. Now here's a problem, which obviously I think that's where the prosecutor is going to come in and bring it up, and the judge is going to consider like, okay, the law is supposed to be applied evenly and fairly, but in that case, it's not that they're trying to be racist or biased because it's Diddy. In that case, that person took a plea, and when you take a plea and not go to trial, we all know you get easier or favorable terms that the judge will most likely agree with. Diddy took it to trial, and though he won on the sex trafficking and RICO, he lost on prostitution. So they're not going to give you, or I know they're saying, well, the guy got 14 months. Diddy damn near spent 14 months. Just let him go on time served. But, and they're trying to like emphasize, well, the other case has a minor. There's no minors on Diddy's case. However, Diddy did take this to trial. And what came out in trial is a lot of allegations. And one of the surprising things was, I'm not sure if you guys knew, but I didn't even know, the judge in his sentencing, he could take into account everything he heard in trial. So even the stuff that was used as evidence for the charges that he wasn't guilty on, those allegations, he could, like, for example, they presented, did he try to blow up a nigga's car? That's to support a RICO charge. He was found innocent of RICO. However, they could take that, or the judge could take that into consideration, say, if I let this guy back out on the street, he might be violent. He might be trying to blow people's cars up again. Which to me, I think it's kind of fucked up. But apparently, judges could take whatever they want into consideration. Sentencing is very subjective. It's based on really what the judge feels like, unless there's just like these hard set mandatories, minimums, or whatever the case is.
Brian Steele, Xavier Donaldson, Combs himself, and then it could happen. It could happen today. There was some talk of it going into Monday. It's going to be close, but I can't see how 3 speakers, well, it depends how the Reverend Doctor. The reentry guy, I don't know if it's necessary. It'd really be up to Judge Subramanian if he wants to get it done today. And of course, the sentence itself is totally up to Judge Subramanian. We're halfway through, and we're live tweeting. And this now is the scene. I'll show it from afar because it's going to be, getting through it is going to be something else. We've got cameras on one side of the street. We've got a crowd in front of the building. We've got a CBS car here. But we'll end it right here. We're heading back in. Inner City Press. We continue.
Okay. So yeah, the judge eventually agrees that Diddy should be sentenced to 50 months. Which, by the way, the judge, I was thinking it was going to be in a 3-year marker, and some people thought that it was going to be between 15 and 21 months, but the judge actually declined that. The judge actually thought that there was cause for upward departure from what Diddy's lawyers were arguing as the guidelines, and actually said no. He actually thinks more than 3 years would be appropriate, or that's the guideline he's going to look at, and he went 1 year above that. He went to 4 years, 2 months. Okay. I'll play this last thing. I know I've been playing videos a bunch, and then I'll get into what the sentence means. And we'll get into what Diddy said on the stand. So Diddy did say some stuff. By the way, let me pull Lauren Conlin in here because she was there in court. And check this out.
Hi everyone, it's Lauren Conlin, and I am outside of the federal courthouse for Diddy's sentencing. It's totally chaotic here. The courtroom is just overflowing. All of his family is here. There's a few family friends, all of his kids. Gina is here. I did not mention that on my shorter video for LA Magazine, but I'm gonna mention it here. And we're on a lunch break, so I'm going pretty quickly. But the day started off with Judge Subramanian basically going through each side's objections to the pre-sentencing report. I'm not going into crazy detail, but he essentially just overruled all of them, except he did say that acquitted conduct would be taken into consideration for sentencing, which is the violence. So he made a comment about how he felt like Diddy wasn't really taking any culpability or responsibility to the guilty verdict, and his team is still pushing the whole I paid for time with these escorts, and he said that's just frankly ridiculous. And I'm paraphrasing, by the way. But
now that's kind of important. The judge looked like they wanted Diddy to just admit, hey, I did do this illegal act of interstate prostitution. Now, the reason why Diddy might not go for that angle is because this whole thing is an appealable conviction, right? He is going to be filing appeals on the convictions he did get. So, like, in sentencing, he's not going to just admit it and just be like, I'm sorry for paying for prostitutes, because that's an admission in itself. So here's the thing. He's kind of deflecting, but then the judge is looking at the deflection to say, I can't go easy on you because I could tell you're still fighting this idea of why you got sentenced, right? Or not why you got found guilty. So that's a mitigating factor to be thought about.
Let's see. Okay, so sorry, it's so noisy. Oh, the judge said he agreed with the sentencing guideline report of his offense level being a 27 and the criminal history category being 1, which would be 70 to 87 months and a $25K to $250K fine. Christy Slavic spoke for the government. She started off by saying today is about accountability and justice. Today is for the public. So she just kind of, went into why he should be sentenced this way because he's violent, et cetera, et cetera. Her case law that was asked for by the judge, it was a case, it was Dylan Jordan, and she said this guy got 60 months, and he was a Mann Act conspirator. So this is a Mann Act conspiracy case. He had similar conduct to Diddy. He love bombed his victims, used force, fraud, coercion, all that stuff. And he was imposed a stricter sentencing. And the judge actually said, and Patrick Driscoll went into this as well. He's like, well, didn't he serve this guy 8 years in a Cuban prison before this, so his criminal history was pretty bad and this was his second chance? And she said, yeah. So Slavic kind of admitted herself that Diddy's case is very different, and that wasn't great case law. God, stop. But yeah, she said this is a transportation case with added factors of violence. Driscoll came out and just dropped all the hammers and saying why, you know, this case law it didn't make sense and it's not appropriate. He also said he reviewed over 900 Mann Act cases, and in all of them, he basically said the average was like a 27-month sentence. I'm skipping over a lot of this. He, you know, went into, again, very detailed case law. He said some very, he basically shared a vile text message in another case where this defendant got a way less of a sentence than Diddy, and he just, or that they were trying to impose on Diddy, and he just said, yeah, this, you know, Diddy never said anything like this to any of his quote-unquote victims, and it was something like, you know, all you're good for is your, you know what, lady parts, I should make a mold of them. I'm paraphrasing, whatever. Oh, Nicole Westmoreland got up there. She started crying, and she said how much, you know, Combs meant to her as a person, how much he influenced her, specifically in her personal life, talked about all his charity, what he did, you know, for charter schools and this and that, and talked about his MDC work. He's teaching a class at MDC that, you know, has really gone a long way for inmates. And okay, so let me just skip to this part. Diddy's kids got up there, and every single one of his kids, except for the 2-year-old, spoke. Delilah, his daughter, sobbed. Jesse sobbed. They all kind of were very, very emotional, but the girls were, it was tough. Delilah at the end was like, please, you know, have mercy on our father. All the kids said he's a changed man. They can tell that he's changed. They played the 11-minute video. Diddy was sobbing. He broke down when they played Kim Porter and all the family surrounding Kim Porter, and it was just, yeah, it was crazy. Oh, also, the prosecution brought up something about Diddy booking a speaking engagement in Miami next week, saying how he doesn't take this seriously. I don't know what that's about. I haven't had a chance to Google it. But everybody head over to LA Magazine as well for my update there, and I'll be...
Okay. So in the afternoon, Diddy takes the stand himself, and Diddy actually speaks to the judge. I don't know necessarily takes the stand, so let me correct that. He spoke in court, and he addressed the judge, and with him addressing the judge, it's part of one of the final parts of him trying to, you know, convince the judge that I'm not that bad of a person. Let's get to that, and then let's see if we could extrapolate certain parts from it, even though it's just a monologue. There's no questions. There's no nothing. He's just saying, Judge, I'm sorry, which, by the way, he apologized to Jane Doe. He apologized to Cassie. He apologized to his family. He apologized to the court. He apologized to the victims, and he said he was definitely under the influence, and he didn't really know. I'll let Lauren talk about it.
Hi everyone, I just got out of federal court, and Diddy has officially been sentenced by Judge Subramanian to 50 months in federal prison. I believe that his 12 or 13 months that he's already done will be accounted for.
We're going to try to figure out how much time he has to serve, but wait, what the fuck? We're gonna figure out how much time he has to serve, y'all. But from what we kind of know, is this thing gonna turn on or no? Okay. From what we kind of know, he's gonna get credit for time served, and then there's a few programs that might help him out. So we're gonna figure out when we actually reasonably think he's gonna come home. But let's play this first.
Sometimes you can serve only 85% of your sentence based on good behavior. But man, I heard Judge Subramanian say the words, I need to impose a significant sentence 2 or 3 times when he was giving his speech. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, what the hell is this sentence going to be? But let me get back to that really quick. Okay, so when we got back from lunch, Brian Steele was speaking, and, you know, I'll just go through this quickly because I really want to get to what Diddy said and what the judge said. So Brian Steele spoke, and then Xavier Donaldson spoke, and then a reverend spoke. Let me see. The reverend...
Is that what was that name? TD Jake or whatever that guy's name is?
Reverend he was in Miami and he kind of talked about, just rehabilitation and how he would personally help Diddy if he got out of prison or jail, excuse me. And then somebody from the re-entry program spoke. His name, you know what, that's not important right now. So then we had Mark Agnifilo speak, and then Diddy spoke. So Diddy, I actually wrote down pretty much. I wrote down, I'm not going to say word for word, I did paraphrase a lot, but I do want to read some of it to you because he kind of broke at one point when he apologized to his mother and he apologized to his kids, but he kind of like did a big sigh and he stood up and he just said, thank you for giving me the chance to speak up for myself. It's been hard to be quiet this whole time and not say, how sorry I am for my actions. I'm sorry to Cassie Ventura for emotionally and physically.
Oh, wow. I'm guessing this is verbatim, so I'm guessing he said Cassie's name. He hate Cassie like poison, but he got to say it. He's trying to get out.
Hurting her. I don't take this lightly. I'm sorry to her family. And then he says, I'm sorry to Jane. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry I brought you into this mess. I'm sorry to all victims of domestic violence. This disgusting video of Cassie triggered a lot of people. DV is a burden I will always carry. I was sick. I was sick from the drugs. My actions were shameful, disgusting, but I'm not making any excuses. I'm trying my best. I'm just a human being. I am not larger than life. My ego got the best of me. And he said, because of my decision, because of my decisions, I've lost my freedom, my career, my businesses, my reputation is destroyed. I lost my self-respect. I lost my ability to take care of my mom and my kids. And then he said, I hate myself right now. He also said, I'm stripped down to nothing. I am truly sorry for all of it, no matter what they say. And he was referring obviously to the prosecution. He said, I am truly humbled. And then he looked at his kids and he said,
truly humbled under God, y'all. Truly humbled under God.
I'm sorry that I failed you as a father. Looked at his mom and said, I'm sorry that I failed you as a son. His voice broke. He said he failed his community. He asked, Your Honor, for mercy, for, I can't change the past, but I can change the future. He doesn't take his Mann Act conviction lightly. He takes full accountability, full responsibility. He knows the severity of it. He said, I want everyone to know that I'm truly sorry for it all. So then we took 5 minutes and the judge came back and just said, I want to make sure you know that you are being sentenced on the conviction of the Mann Act, not RICO or trafficking. However, the statute of the defendant's sentence should consider characteristics of the defendant, the violence. So then he, went into all the things that impressed him about Combs, his MDC work, he lifted communities worldwide. His entrepreneurship is iconic. He said, the court knows you have problems with addiction and it may have exacerbated this, blah, blah, blah. And he praises him. And then he goes and says, but the court has to consider all of the behavior into consideration. And he said, you abused, or you basically used your power and control to abuse women who loved you.
I really hate that that's being considered. What's the point? Like, this trial made me look at the justice system like very differently. You go to, it's basically saying we ain't catch you on the murder, but you did steal the candy in the store. So since we ain't catch you on the murder, but we did hear that you were toting a gun every time and whatever. And maybe you did this and you robbed this person, even though you're not charged for those things. For you stealing the candy, we're going to give you 20 years. Huh? Like, this is like a makeup call. I kind of hate it. What's the point of having these charges? You should just be like, this is a morality test. If you're a bad person, we're just going to send you away. You just need to go away. Because he beat the most serious charges that the evidence that is being brought up at his sentence is being brought up again. So it's like, oh, yeah, I beat a girl up. But that was to support that I was sex trafficking these women by force. But it was deemed that I wasn't sex trafficking them by force. So how are you sentencing me for something that I wasn't even charged with? Now, one thing I said about Judge Subramanian, from the get-go, he's a give and take judge, chat. He's a person who I think he wanted to satisfy both parties so bad. So even in a loss, and I think most people in the legal community and the law enforcement community would consider this a loss for the prosecutors. He wants them to feel like they got a victory. And what I mean by a give and take judge, he's like, okay, all right, well, you're not guilty of these things that would make me have to give you 20 years, but also I got to give them something because if I let you out on time served, it looked like blah, 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 so take 4 years. He's a give and take, right? Like he's really trying to appease everybody, and even in loss, he's trying to appease the people who were trying to put Diddy in jail for life. Like that's the only thing I could think about.
You and you psychologically and physically abuse them to get your way. The evidence of abuse in this case was massive, and he said, and we saw it. And then he listed, the broken the broken door, the bruises, the everything that we saw in court pretty much. And he said these were serious offenses that harmed 2 women. This conduct occurred for over a decade, and you had the power and the resources to keep it going because you did not get caught. And again, he kept.
Now, keep in mind, none of those things are Mann Act, related things, right? Because the Mann Act, it's not forced prostitution. It's just prostitution.
Saying, and I have to.
By the way, also, interestingly enough, if he's only getting sentenced or he only got convicted for prostitution, how come none of the actual prostitutes who all testified, or not all, but some of them testified in the case, why weren't their opinions valued? Because they would, I get it, they were not charged because they had immunity, but they were also involved in these acts. Maybe they could have spoke their mind and be like, hey, during these acts, we felt Diddy, we understood and we felt Diddy was paying us for prostitution, or, oh, you know what, we just thought it was just Cassie. Like, how come none of their opinions, even though they testified, matter now? Like almost they could have never been a victim of being prostituted. Because the idea of Diddy getting sentenced for prostitution, right, is that they're saying he prostituted Cassie, Jane Doe, and the prostitutes, yet none of the prostitutes really have a voice, especially coming to sentencing. I'm going to read that donation in a second. Give me a second.
Impose a significant sentence because XYZ. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it going to be more than 11 years? And then he said, the government's, request of the 11 years is too much, but the defense, 14 months is too little. So based on the facts and the circumstances of this case and the profound impact of, what happened to Cassie and Jane, he said that, and he took into consideration the sentencing disparities that Patrick Driscoll brought up, and then he said yes, so he will be imposing a 50 months of incarceration, which is 4 years, 2 months, a $500,000 fine, and terms of supervised release of 5 years, and outpatient treatment. And I got to get all my notes together. I will put all of this in writing, but that is essentially what happened. And he didn't seem to really react at this, except he sighed, put his head back. He looked upset. When it was over, he looked at his family, kind of shrugged. His family didn't, they didn't cry that I saw. They didn't make any type of noises or anything like that. So, yeah.
Okay, now this is interesting. This is interesting, chat. And we have a new update. Thank you, my man Memes, who just sent it. I think it's posted on DJ Akademiks TV. They said Diddy asked Trump for a pardon right after he got sentenced to 4 years. Let's see if we can find that. Now, remember what I said about the pardon for Diddy. I said if Diddy got convicted of sex trafficking or RICO, no way a president, even if maybe Trump goes out on the worst terms ever, he's not pardoning that guy. You get me? Like, you're not family. He's not pardoning that guy. But if it's just the Mann Act, which means you're just buying pussy, it allows him the optics of pardoning you, but not looking crazy. Now, they're saying that Diddy asked for pardon, but let's okay, it's not really showing. Supposedly was, let me see, it should be today. Oh, here we go.
The Israeli government has been arresting and deporting activists that were traveling to Gaza. Today, Greta Thunberg, for instance, also some...
Well, she's just a troublemaker, you know. I mean, she's no longer into the environment, now she's into this. She's a troublemaker. She has an anger management problem. I think she should see a doctor. She needs anger. If you ever watch her, she's a young person. She's so angry. She's so crazy. Now you can have her. You can have. She's just a troublemaker. Yeah, please.
The Supreme Court is back in its term today, Mr. President.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back in session.
Yeah.
They rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance at getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're open to?
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to...
I think he's going to pardon Ghislaine. Ghislaine went up there and was questioned by the Department of Justice. And, you know, in that questioning session, she backed up Trump. She said, yeah, I seen Trump at the island. That nigga was never doing nothing weird. He was always keeping it P. That's what Trump needed, because they was starting to get on Trump's ass like he was down there with Jeffrey fucking them little kids. But Trump, who you know, I think he did a little mismanagement on how he handled the Epstein files and all that stuff. Essentially, she kind of like rescued him out of that. You know, in terms of PR, obviously there's no like, he wasn't gonna go to jail or nothing like that. But I think Trump gonna pardon. No, actually not pardon. Let me be clear, because there's two different things. You have a pardon, and you could commute a sentence. A commutation means whatever you served until now, you're still guilty. Like, for example, he didn't pardon Larry Hoover, even though Larry Hoover has other charges, which are state charges, where he can't do nothing too. But he commuted them, which means that instead of serving the 6 life sentences that he had to do, he basically said, as of today, your sentence is fulfilled. So I think he's going to do that for Ghislaine. Hey, whatever years they gave you, as of today, your sentence is fulfilled. So I think he's going to give a commutation, not a pardon. A pardon means you never got convicted. Like, Youngboy could, you know, well, he has other cases, but he probably could technically buy a gun. You know what I mean? He got pardoned by the president of the United States. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, I don't think he's going to pardon her. He's going to give her a commutation. And by the way, this is just like me guessing. But apparently they asked him about Diddy afterwards. Here we go. So he's deflecting a little bit, because I think he knows Shorty held him down good. You know, Trump is a nigga who I realize, like, yo, if you hold him down, favor for favor. That's gang. Yo, you hold him down, if he could return the favor, he got you. Right?
Appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't.
You say I'll take a look at that motherfucker.
Consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I'll speak. I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly. Steve?
Have you made a decision on whether to supply?
Well, you see how Trump is such a G. And no, this is not glazing, but like, you could tell he's actually thinking about it, but he deflected the question so well, and he threw something else, which is a bigger story into it, a bigger story currently. This is why he's so good with the media, right? He says, Puff Daddy asked me for a pardon, which we never got confirmed. And by the way, Diddy's legal team they always act like, oh, well, that's not what we're focused on because we're focused on trying to, have him beat the case as we're doing the trial. And, they've been really like elusive in trying to answer this question about, are you in communication with Trump in trying to get a pardon? Trump, while trying to duck this Ghislaine Maxwell question, throws out a bigger story that outlets like me are going to bite into. Oh, Diddy asked me for a pardon. I guarantee the pardon wasn't, like, I see headlines being ran saying, oh, Diddy asked for the pardon after he got 4 years. No, I think Diddy asked for the pardon back then when Trump said he would look at it. I think he asked back then. But they're pressing Trump on Ghislaine, and Trump needed to get out of that, so he threw that shit in there.
Look at it. I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly. Steve?
Have you made a decision on whether to supply Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine or sell them to NATO and let them sell them to Ukraine?
Yeah, I've sort of made a decision, pretty much. If you consider, yeah, I think I want to find out what they're doing with them.
Yes.
Where are they sending them? I guess I'd have to ask that question. That war should never have started. Would have.
Now, a lot of people believe that Trump and Ghislaine may have had like a little head nod deal to say, yo, if, you do this like, interrogation, so to speak, and you don't implicate me in shit, I got you later. I'm the president. You feel me? Now, I'm not saying Trump did nothing wrong because that's my nigga. But it's one of those like, yo, if you hold it down for me, I'm going to hold it down for you later. So we'll see. But Trump did say he's going to look at it, which, again, I think when Trump goes out of office, we're going to see the craziest pardons ever, my nigga. I ain't even going to lie to you. Shit. I think anything short of El Chapo coming out, like, this shit might happen. This shit might go down when Trump is leaving, because that's when people usually do the biggest pardons, right? And remember, he can't run again. Okay, so Diddy takes a stand, does a bunch of crying, right? Let me see. Was my man Sean G there? I know I'm going a little bit slow, but remember, we missed that day. Sean G. We'll get his, synopsis on it, and after his synopsis, let me see. Then we're gonna do our math on how much time we really think Diddy's gonna get, okay? And then we'll move on to some other topics.
Mr. Sentencing, it's going down tomorrow. My life. This is my life.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, he didn't go live?
First offender, if she was such a victim.
Here you go.
Self. Share this video.
By the way, while we're waiting, I meant to put this on after the Trump video. Look at 50 Cent, man. Is 50 hating, or is this how you treat your ops? 50 said, man, you can't get no pardon running your mouth like that. Get out of here. And he has a slide with basically,
You knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office, and he made
this is an old Trump interview.
Some terrible statements. So I'm being honest. It makes it more difficult to do.
Now, as reports begin to circulate on Trump's response, claiming that Diddy dissing him is why a pardon more than likely won't happen, moments, and one moment in particular that may have cost Diddy his freedom has now resurfaced.
White men like Trump need to be banished.
When you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office.
Wow. Yo, Diddy don't want this man free at all.
I couldn't make it to the trial yesterday. Share this video. Share this video. of New York judge on a Mann Act charge. Why did Cassie not show up here at the court and address the court herself? Why?
I'm gonna be honest. It's probably in the benefit of Diddy that she didn't show up. Now remember, she just had a kid. Like she just gave birth, I believe.
Why not? Check Sean G out. Why didn't Jane Doe, if she was such a victim and she felt so she needed vindication, if Cassie needed vindication, why did not Cassie and Jane Doe show up and represent themselves at the sentencing and ask for more time for Puff? Why did the judge feel the need to do that? Check Sean G out. Check me out. Check my gear out. Look at my gear. Look at my gear. I got the dope gear on. I got the dope gear on. The abs is locked in. The abs is locked in too. A Southern District of New York judge gave a first offender, a man who was acquitted.
Now, I think this is where we're going to find out. And some people are going to, there's going to be so much appeals that's going to be flying, right? He is a first offender. Like, Diddy is not a felon. Diddy doesn't have sex charges. Diddy doesn't have a domestic violence conviction. Diddy has no convictions. So to have a first offender get slammed with 4 years, which, by the way, he got convicted of 2 counts. I'm not too sure how the judge looked at it in terms of sentencing, but that's basically 2 years and a month, right? 2 years and a month for each charge, which is 2 months, which is 2 charges. So that's 4 years and 2 months for prostitution.
Of 3 very serious charges, which would have landed him life in prison. A jury acquitted him of those charges. And he was left with 2 charges, Mann Act charges or prostitution, which are considered misdemeanors in state cases. Some states don't even prosecute them. And gave the first offender, first offense, no criminal history, no infractions at MDC Brooklyn, already served 12 and a half months, denied bail, yet still on very weak Mann Act prostitution charges, gave him an upward departure of 9 levels, enhanced him 9 levels, and did an upward departure, going against what he asked for. His word, Judge Submarinian, you lied, Judge Submarinian. Your word is some shit. You a liar. Because in your order dated July the 9th, 2025, you asked for USC 18-24-20.
Nah. But if you don't know, Sean G, he was incarcerated at one point. So a lot of stuff is personal to him because he's been in some of these situations and he felt railroaded by the legal system then. And he thought that Diddy was getting railroaded by them now.
21, criminal history category 1, sentencing guideline range 2G1.1, subsection 1, subsection A, which is a base offense level of 14. You asked for that. If you wanted to add the coercion, which according to Mark Agnifilo, you mentioned 7, 8, 9, 10 times in your little soliloquy, it should have been enhanced in your letter to a USC 18-24-22 with the enhancement for the coercion. But you didn't ask for that. You went against your own word. You went against your own word. Went against your own word. Never before in the history, well, let me not say that. Let me not get into saying things I have no proof, but it is an aberration. It's a standard deviation. 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 standard deviation for a judge to do an upward departure 9 levels on a first offender with a criminal history category of 0. I'm just telling you what it is. And I got the transcript. I got the transcript at the crib. I ain't read it yet. I have another business.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Sean G. I just want to give him some love real quick. I do want to show. So 50 posted this. Again, 4 years, 2 months. That's 50 months, right? So 4 years is 48 months. Add 2 more on to it, it's 50 months. Let's try to do some math on reasonably when Diddy might come home. Now, so Diddy was locked up on September 16th, 2024. Let's do the math. Diddy's been incarcerated for a year and a month, right? September, October, right? So he's been locked up for 13 months, right? I want to show you guys how I do this because this is how we could reasonably understand. So actually, I'll just keep everything in Google because they have their AI. He's sentenced to 50 months. 50 minus 13. That's 13 months. Diddy would have 37 months left, right? So 37 months to years. That would be 3 years from then. However, there's a few things helping Diddy out. Let's reverse the math and let's go back to the 50 months he's sentenced to. The 50 months he's sentenced to, before we even get to time served, is going to be offsetted by what's called good behavior. Diddy ain't up in jail doing all the bullshit. He's not trying to fight people. He's not trying to do this. He ain't trying to blah, blah. The federal guidelines allow for 15% off of your sentence for that. So let's do this. Calculator. Okay, we got one here. So 50 months times 0.85. That's going to be 42 and a half. We're going to call it 43 for the sake of conversation. So even though he was sentenced to 50 months, if he was going to serve all of it and given good behavior time, he would serve 42.5, or let's just call it 43 months. Okay? So let's use the new number, 43. 43. Now, there's 2 things that are operating that might help him out. And we're going to Google it. There's, number 1, the First Step Act. Don't know if you guys know what that is. Which president signed the First Step Act? Which, by the way, oh my God, signed the Constitution, no. First Step Act, and this is not an endorsement of, Donald J. Trump, but Trump is the person who did it. Now, what is the First Step Act? So the First Step Act, and we can get an overview here. This is the Federal Bureau of Prisons. He signed into law in 2018, which basically it wanted to improve criminal justice outcomes and reduce the size of federal prisons, right? So this matters for federal crimes, federal prison. Diddy happens to have a federal crime and is in federal prison. So it requires the Attorney General to develop a risk and needs an assessment system to be used by BOP to assess the recidivism risk and criminogenic needs of all federal prisoners. Okay, now this is going to be like long-winded, but to kind of make it a little bit succinct, it gives federal inmates up to 45 or 54 days of good time credit for every year of their imposed sentence. Okay? So essentially, and by the way, there is some requirements here. Some of the requirements, and by the way, I think the First Step Act was meant for people who were incarcerated federally for crimes that had to do with, maybe some sales of drugs, but you were like, you're the first time you ever got locked up for such a crime. You're not like a drug kingpin, right? And it wanted to, it says eligible inmates can earn time towards their pre-release custody. Offense that makes inmates ineligible to earn time are generally categorized as violent. Does Diddy have violent allegations? Yes. But violent convictions? No. Involving terrorism, espionage? No. Human trafficking, sex, and sexual exploitation. Now, this is where they're probably going to argue this. It might go to appeal. They're going to try to probably argue that Diddy's Mann Act violation, even though that's sex, that's in the sex realm, that it's not necessarily, it shouldn't be not considered. But I'm going to be honest with you, I think they're not going to consider Diddy for the First Step Act. So again, also it excludes offenses as a repeat felon in possession of a firearm, blah, blah. So basically, if this wasn't a sex charge, Diddy would be like shoo-in for this. I don't think this is going to help him out. But just to let you know, 54 days of every year that was sentenced, let's see how that would play out if we were supposed to think about it. 54, remember, it's every year. Each year, so Diddy has 4 years. So it would be 4 times 54, right? That's 220. Do I got my math right? I think I do. 4 times 54 is 220. And then there's 2 months, so we get some time off of that too. So like 220, let's call it 235. 235. So Diddy would have gotten 235 days off for the First Step Act. He's not a felon. He's whatever. This is the first time these things are happening. He would have gotten time off based on the First Step Act. However, because his conviction does involve some sex stuff, I don't believe he will, because the First Step Act bar people who involved in human trafficking. Diddy wasn't accused of human trafficking or sex trafficking, but there was sex. I think they would consider the Mann Act sex exploitation, honestly. So already, remember, so good time, we got a calculator here, 43. If the First Step Act was supposed to work, we would have minused another 12. So it would like about 12 months, because it would be 250. Actually, we could say like maybe 11 or 10 months. But even then, even 10 off of this is good, right? So it would have been down to 33. Now, what is going to help Diddy, because I don't think this will help him, but if it did help him, let's say we're nice. We're going to add this 10 back. We're going to add it back because I don't think he's going to qualify for this because of the nature of the charges. But let's act like he's getting everything his way. Minus 10. So he would have to serve 33. Keep in mind, he's done 13. So we're going to minus the 13 off of it too. So he got 33 months to serve. Remember, good behavior and First Step Act. But there's another thing that would help Diddy out. What would help Diddy out is called the RDAP program, right? Now, what the RDAP program is in federal prison early release is that it says there's different categories of it, right? So if you're serving between 31 to 36 months, you get 9 months reduction if you do the program. And by the way, how it works is that they have to determine that you had a drug problem. The eligibility is to qualify for the reduction, an inmate must have a verifiable substance abuse problem. I think that's easy to prove for Diddy. Like Diddy literally was taking 15 drugs, not only to fuck the bitches, but to do his thing. So like he's definitely going to qualify. Priorities for the program placement is given to inmates with early release dates, so wait times could be long, especially for those with longer sentences. It's open to nonviolent offenders, and participation is voluntary. This is a program that's definitely going to be in Diddy's wheelhouse. This is what Diddy needs to come home earlier. So what would it help him with? So the sentence length determines a reduction. So Diddy was given 50 months. So we don't even have to think about these, right? So if you're only given 30 months or less, you can only get 6 months off. If you're given between 31 and 36 months, you can only get 9 months off. But when you're given over 37 months, which Diddy was given 50, you could get up to 12 months. So if Diddy goes to this program and he, does this drug program, the RDAP program, we have to minus 12 months, okay? So it says inmates serving over 37 months or more could receive the whole 12-month reduction. So let's go back to the calculator. Remember, 43 is good time. So he got sentenced to 50. 43 is good time. We gave him the 10 for the First Step Act, but I don't think he's going to qualify. But we're acting like he qualifies. Remember, we said we're going to add it back at the end. Okay, cool. So we're at 33. But let's minus another 12 because he's going to do the drug program. That's a fact. Minus 12. Leaves him at 21, right? With the 21, he already served 13. Minus 13. 8 months. Which means two months in prison, 6 months in a halfway house. Usually a halfway house around 6 months or so, they'll start transitioning you back to regular society. They'll put you in a halfway house, which is basically like jail camp, right? Now, so what would be left is the 8 months to serve. Now, I don't think he's going to qualify for the First Step Act that Donald J. Trump signed into law would help him with it because the Mann Act is still a sex charge. It's still a charge involving sex. So we're going to have to put it back there. So 8 plus 10 is going to be 18, okay? So what we believe that he's going to have to serve is 18 months. Let's think about 18 months. 18 months would be a year. Remember, you need 6 months for around 6 months for a halfway house. So he would serve a year from now and go to a halfway house. So if you ask me, Diddy will be free next year, September, or next year, October. And when I mean free, he'll be in a transition stage, getting out of a halfway house, coming back to society. Okay? Granted, if the First Step Act, along with the drug program, all kicked in, Diddy would only be locked up for 2 months. Additionally, obviously he's been locked up already. But from what it says, it looks like Diddy will be out in 18 months, which means, remember, we got a minus 6 for the halfway house, because by the time he had the halfway house, he going to be on Instagram and shit like that. You just won't see him because he has to go back to the halfway house. But that's going to be in a year because 18 minus 6 is 12. That's a full year. So we're talking about him being out next year, October or September, and max, I would say, November. Okay? So that's the math that I did. Obviously, the Bureau of Prisons are going to have to do their own math to kind of figure it out themselves. And then they're going to figure out what programs apply, what to give them for time served, what to whatever. But that is the thing. Now, there is some news coming out. Diddy is asking the judge that he wants to go do his time at a pretty much a low security federal correctional institution in New Jersey. His legal team asked and said that, hey, FCI Fort Dix, pause, is the best landing spot for Diddy because he could address his drug abuse issues. Remember, they keep heavy on the drug abuse. Why? RDAP program, right? And he could maximize family visitations and rehabilitative efforts. Tenny's father, Mark Garagos, previously told Harvey that Diddy will have a target on his back wherever he ends up. And Diddy's attorneys told the judge Friday that someone already planned to shank Diddy. Wow. Other celebrities have done time at FCI Fort Dix, including Teresa and Joe Guides, I'm probably fucking it up. Judge Submaranian could recommend a prison for Diddy as well. It doesn't have to be one of those, but ultimately it will be the Bureau of Prison that has the final say. He's been locked up for over 2 years at MDC, and he'll call the federal prison home for more than 2 years. And it'll be interesting to see if the BOP agrees with the lawyer recommendations or if the feds will ship him off somewhere else. By the way, we checked. Herbal oil and prayer oil are available, but there's no baby oil at Fort Dix Commissary. Hilarious. Let's hear what Tenny Garagos' father, Mark Garagos, has to say about this. Here we are. Okay. Sorry. Waiting for this ad to be done. Apologize. I see y'all in here. Okay, here we go.
Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a target.
So let's say he is sent to a minimum security prison. Is he out of the woods when it comes to that kind of assault?
If you're going, you and I talked about Ghislaine Maxwell, who went from the one place in Florida, which was a higher level, not a camp. And she was transferred after she did the interview with the couple-day interview. She was transferred to what they call a camp in Texas, which I'm familiar with. I've had other clients in. So a camp is generally one of the better places to be. And the reason for that is because a camp is basically you get certain privileges. And if you step off of the line, so to speak, if you violate, if you do anything that is not according to Hoyle, they will immediately send you someplace a lot more onerous. So that's why I say, in the long-winded answer to your question, yes, you've got to get designated somebody. I know he wants to be New York adjacent. If I'm Sean right now, I'm going to be angling for someplace like Lompoc satellite camp or something along those lines.
But that still doesn't answer. Is he out of the woods when it comes to being sexually or in any way assaulted by being in a minimum security prison?
So Diddy's case or trial has finally started. They're picking out the jurors and stuff. Do you guys feel like Diddy will be freed, or you feel me, he's cooked? I've been reading a lot of comments. A lot of people have been saying that Diddy's cooked. You feel me? I don't even know how I necessarily feel about Diddy. Because like at first everyone wanted him locked up. Then it's like people kind of feel bad for him now. Because I'm not gonna lie, the stuff he did to Cassie is 100% wrong. What he did to Cassie is 1,000% wrong. And people would never agree with it. But like, if you want to call it for what it is, Diddy was a freak. Okay, if people underage are involved, lock him up, throw him under the jail. But if people underage aren't involved, bro, Diddy is a freak, bro. Like his lawyer said, he's a swinger, bro. Like you feel me? He might want to watch his wife get hyped out. He might, don't know what did he want to watch. He wants to watch everything. He's a freaky man. He's a freak. That's why they're called freak offs. Get all the freaks together. What do you think's gonna happen? Baby oil with stuff in it that when it goes into your skin, you're paralyzed. Like, yes, that's what happens at the freak off. There's obviously two parties to a Diddy party. There's the party, and then there's the party party. Have you ever been invited to the party party before? Probably not. But hey, man, let me know how you guys feel about Diddy. Do you want him locked up or do you want him free? Do you feel bad for Diddy? Even if Diddy gets freed, I think his career is done. No one's ever gonna work with him again. No brand's gonna work with him. You feel me? He's still gonna make money off. He probably has real estate like tenants and stuff, and probably like investments that we don't know about. So he's probably still gonna make money, but he's not gonna be making the same money as before. Like he's probably definitely at a billionaire status now. But hey, man, it's your boy Big X News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.